from the first Sunday I attended way back in the fall of 1992, no, 91. This has been our church, and we have loved it. We've heard the Lord's name proclaimed every Sunday, and the Bible and His words have been lifted up, and we are just so grateful.
But we are so glad we found Lake Grove Presbyterian Church, and I can remember the first time we came. This is like a hidden secret. We did not know this was hidden back here, but we knew the Marbles and the Proudies. We knew that they came here, and we went to our church on Easter on Saturday night, and you know what church that was. And it just was like, he didn't even say He is risen. And I'm like, Carrie, I need to go to a better church on Easter Day. So we came here, had to sit alone because it was packed. And my goodness, I sat there and tears just flowed. It was just beautiful. The message, it was like the perfect church.
And we arrived at Lake Grove Presbyterian in 2003 in the spring. And we had been looking for a church for several months, going to a different church every Sunday and going home very disappointed. And we had a criteria of what we were looking for. We wanted a church that preached the gospel, where women could serve in the church, and where they had a great music program. And quite honestly, I didn't think that we'd find number one at a Presbyterian church. But my first Sunday was on an Easter, and sitting in the very first row, Bob's message said, the first person that God commissioned to preach an Easter service was a woman. That sold me. And the thing I've appreciated about our community here at Lake Grove is that Bob always preaches about Jesus. Jesus is the main thing.
We had been searching around as a family for 6 or 8 months looking for a church, and on a whim came down to Lake Grove Presbyterian Church, and immediately felt like it was a welcoming place for our children. There was a wonderful place for our kids to go into children's ministry, and then as we walked into the service, we came in and heard Pastor Bob give an incredible sermon, and as we were walking out, he stopped us in the hallway and said, I have not met you before, I'm Pastor Bob, how can I welcome you to our church? And that was the moment we knew that this was the church for us, and we have been so grateful for Bob and Debbie and their ministry to us and to our family, and our children have grown up in this church and are thriving in its youth programs.
I just can't believe that the Lord led us to Lake Grove Presbyterian Church. The first Sunday we came, we had been visiting churches just to see where God was working in Portland, really, not really looking for a church, but just wanted to see, just heard wonderful things about churches throughout Portland, and Lake Grove was actually the last church we visited. And I think we both, when we sat in that pew and listened to that choir and heard Bob preach, we looked at each other and just knew we were in the right place.